podcast. I am your host, Vanessa Harold. Subscribe to Cool Paso now and like this video. We film sports in the El Paso, Texas, and Southwest region. Invite us to record your game by going to coolpaso.com. This allows us to keep connected with the community, find a sense of purpose, and see a direct impact as a result of our pictures and video. Speaking of making an impact on the community, we have a very special guest today. Please welcome head coach of the New Mexico Bonitas women's football team, Jamar Cotton. Give him a hand.
Remember what side of history you want to be on right now. That's our second half motto. What side of history do you want to be on?
It's great to have you.
Oh, it's a blessing to be here. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming. Now, I think one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how did you get started? As far as chronologically, did you play football when you were younger?
Yes, I actually have a long history in football. So originally from New Jersey,
Oh,
one of the things that we played, we started off with a game called free fall, right? That's throw the ball up, you get it, and then you try to run from end zone to end zone.
okay.
So that game doesn't cost you to have equipment on, but that's how we started. We used to play
The
on
lunchtime.
right, and then we actually used to play on the street too.
Gotcha.
When it wasn't school time, played that way. That's how I originally got into it. I also prompted me to become a runner because we ran so much. It almost was like soccer without, but you don't kick the ball, you just throw the ball. So that's how I started. And then from there, I didn't get into organized football consistently into high school.
Mm.
So when in middle school, I had tried out for Pop Warner,
Mm.
but we was poor, so I ain't had the money.
Mhm.
My mom ain't had the money,
Cost money.
right, to pay for equipment and travel and all that stuff like that. And also, I just I didn't have the time. We were bouncing from house to house, and for a couple of years, we was actually homeless out on the street.
Wow.
So I couldn't really dedicate time to the sport like I wanted to. So, getting together with people on the street, the kids in the neighborhood and stuff like that was, how we did it. Then once I got into high school, I got into football, and track is what really took me over the top.
I love track.
Oh, I love track. I used to hate track though. Let me tell you. So we didn't even have a field,
Okay.
a track to run on. Our actual track outside was all cement, and it was so old, so it had like cracks through it, so we couldn't run on it. So we had I call it a maze on the second floor of our high school at Irvington High School. Shout out to the Blue Knights. Now they got everything state of the art, looking gorgeous. I wish I could go run there now. But my coach Marvin Hawkins and Mr. Reed used to have us on the second floor running the maze to get ready for track meets. And I remember when I first started, he told me, I remember the day, he told us to do 24 laps. I said, what? 24 laps? Oh, you got to be kidding. I did those 24 laps and I left after that. I'm like, I'm done. I ain't running track no more.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the type of things that makes kids throw up.
Oh, man. Telling you. But Marvin Hawkins, man, he was one of my biggest mentors, father figures growing up. And he kept me motivated. He stayed with me even when I was ready to quit. And
You look like a sprinter.
definitely a sprinter.
What events did you do?
I ran the 1, 2, the 400, the 4x1, 4x2, 4x4.
Oh, hey.
And
I love relays.
and long jump. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually did the shot put at the time too. So
okay.
so yeah, I have fun.
I think a lot of football guys do shot put and discus.
Yeah. I never did discus, but I definitely did the shot put, tried the shot put out. I wanted to do hurdles too, but I was too stiff.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to stretch more.
But gotta get flexible.
Right. But so yeah, so then my coach, football coach, Coach Grant, both of them Darnell and Barris, well, they're brothers. They also Coach P and Coach Changeo and Coach Tip. All those guys growing up made sure that they tried their best. Make sure we was out the streets and had something positive to do. So all those guys, Coach Weaver, Coach Steele. It's a whole bunch. Made sure that we stayed active in a positive way, even though some of us still was out there acting wild. And but that's the environment that we grew up in, and that actually helped me later on in my career as far as getting into school. So I had quit track at one point because it was just too hard. Right, I'm be honest, it was too hard. But
It is hard. It's not for everybody.
Right. But Coach Hawkins stayed on me, and he gave me some options, and we had to have that life talk. And it was crazy because when I first started track, I was like at the back, like I wasn't nowhere close to front, right? And he's like, "Look, just stick with it, and you'll get where you need to be." By the time I became a junior, I was one of the top in the state of New Jersey. I actually held the record for a while in accounting for the 100 meter, and then I just got inducted into the Hall of Fame for track last year.
Hey, shout out, Coach.
Yeah. So we Blazers. That's what we do over here.
Cool.
So then, 2004, 2005 is when I graduated, and I had originally committed to Rutgers, and then that the head coach at the time got picked up by the NFL. So the new coach that came in, I wasn't on his radar, so they decommitted me. And then after that, it was a couple more schools that did the same thing. So then I committed to North Carolina Wolfpack, and then Troy, and then the same thing happened. So after National Signing Day, New Mexico State, Oregon, West Virginia, and Morgan State and Central Michigan had offered. And I had never heard about New Mexico in my life. I didn't even know it was part of the states. Right? I'm like, oh, I'm about to start speaking Spanish. And they was like, and then they told me that it was hot. So I'm like, okay, I can wear shorts and tank tops all year round, right? Okay. And that was the only coach that actually came to my neighborhood, came to see me out of all the schools that I had committed to. So for me, it was personal. They really showed a interest in me.
Wow.
So I decided to take that route. So when I got here, though, it was crazy because they told me I had a scholarship, but when I got there was no scholarship for me. So I wound up not having a scholarship. I had to go to the community college for the first semester, and I just had to ball out on the field. I had to show them that I was one of the best people on the team, and then in the classroom, I had to prove that I can keep my grades where I need to be at. So I wound up getting academic honors my whole way through my college career.
Oh, wow.
And so after my first semester, they told me I was gonna have to wait a year once I got here for a scholarship, but I did so good. They called me in after the semester and said, "Hey, we wound up finding us a 4-year scholarship for you. So here you go. Congratulations."
Hey.
Yeah. So then, I just did my thing. I had fun. I played my first 4. Then we got some eligibility back, so I was able to play. Because I set out my first one, so they gave me another
For
year
which
back.
school?
New Mexico State University.
Ah, okay, right. Aggies.
Yeah, and so I was able to get another year because I redshirted my first one. So it was awesome. Went back, got my master's degree, did some pro tryouts in Arizona with Jim Fossil. He was coaching for one of the um, UFL teams or something like that. I forget.
Arena football, maybe?
No, it wasn't an arena. It was one of the I forget what team it was, but the league isn't here anymore. But doing that, I went back to school, wound up getting my master's, staying here, started my family here, and then I got into coaching, coaching football. So I started with youth. So I was coaching the youth teams. I was out there with the Outlaws is what I originally started with. We wound up winning the championship. I was helping out with the defense that year. And then after that, start doing some NFL youth camps and things of that sort. Start doing youth fitness. And I've always been instrumental in the community. For me, it's important to to give back and be a pillar within the community, especially with how I grew up and the environment I grew up. I know that it's important to have male role models and figures in the community,
Mm,
not just for the kids, but for adults as well. There's
yeah.
a lot of struggles and stuff out there that people are dealing with. And sometimes people just need somebody to listen to them, somebody to talk to them, somebody to understand where they're coming from and the struggles. And being somebody who was homeless for a couple of years and know what it is to live in the inner city, the drugs and gangs and all that stuff like that, you get a different perspective of life and how people operate and, how to inspire and motivate people, because it took that to motivate and inspire me. And it's all about a mindset, right? We condition ourselves and program ourselves on everything that we do, whether it's what we look at, whether it's what we watch, whether it's what we do, whether it's what we say. It's all a part of conditioning and programming, right? So if you want to change your mindset, you got to program yourself and condition yourself to think different, to be different, to act different, right? Because first you think about it, right? Then you speak it into existence, and then you put into play those things you speak and think about. And so that's how I've been operating for a long time. So I've been part of a couple of youth development programs. I've been a Martin Luther King Youth Leadership Coordinator for the last 3 years here in Doña County. So I got a great team um, that helps out when we go throughout the county. We usually have 20 to 35 kids here in Doña County, and we do a 6-month program. We basically talk and teach kids about nonviolence and the 6 principles of nonviolence, teaching about entrepreneurship, peer leadership, financial literacy,
Mm, that's a good one.
teamwork, sports,
Right.
arts and crafts. We do decision making and stuff like that. And then at the end of the year, there's always a conference, usually in Albuquerque. We had one here last year in Cruces, which was one of the biggest one they had. About 240 kids throughout the state of New Mexico came and participated.
Wow.
So we try to keep everything active, try to have fun. And then when it comes to football, like, I got 4 boys and I just finally had my girl. She just turned 1, right?
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. So, keeping my boys active. My 2 oldest are 12, and then I have my 8-year-old, then my 4-year-old, and then, like I said, my daughter's 1. So we have an athletic family as well. My wife plays football right now for the Mexico Bonitas. She's the left tackle. She was also the kicker
Go ahead and say her name.
2 years ago. Her real name or the name that she prefers. So Gabriella, that's my wife. Number 27 this year. You know what I'm saying? She rocking our daughter's number for her birthday. So that's the big number 27.
I love that number too.
Yeah, yeah. So and it's fun. We all get to come out and suit up. I get to coach, you get to play, and then we go watch our kids play. I coach my kids as well in basketball and football and flag football. So we stay busy, have fun, and so we do those programs: youth football, youth basketball. We play in El Paso, we play in Las Cruces, and we just keep it active. And for me, it's a way to give back to the community, give back to the kids, and keep my kids and family active as well.
And what is it like coaching your kids?
I actually enjoy it. It's for me, it's a blast. To be able to be there in my kids' life and watch the development of my kids, and to hear, especially when we go play other teams, other coaches wanting my son to be on their team, and sometimes it's actually flattering because coaches want me to stop coaching so they can coach my son. But it's a blessing. I don't take it for granted. I love that I get the opportunity to be there for my kids. And, at some point in time, I won't be the coach, so these years right now, especially for me, is important, as far as bonding and developing and, being there and seeing these moments for my kids is very important. So,
And when you tell your sons to run laps, do they get mad at you at home? They don't want to talk to you, or?
no, actually, my sons actually like to run. So, I was blessed. They don't get mad. They actually take pride in being able to get better, and I love that. I got to tell them to go sit down because they like to go full 100% all the time. So I love it.
Yeah, I've met kids like that, and they're very rare. But when you get them on your team, you're always very appreciative.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Well, we found out what it's like coaching your own kids. What's it like coaching your wife?
So my wife, she the hard hit one. Like,
You can't make her do laps or what?
nah, I'm just kidding. She's coachable too. But it's different. Coaching my wife. Because my wife is a little bit more emotional than my kids are, right? But she's a hard worker. You know, she loves the sport. She had to take a year off, obviously, because she was
Mm,
pregnant with our daughter.
mhm,
And for her, she was like, "Man, like I want to get back out there on the field. Like I'm ready, ready." So this year it was awesome, to get her back out there and get the cobwebs out and getting back out there pushing people around and
mhm,
stuff like that. But it's great. Like it's great to be able to coach her and see her development because she only been playing football. This is a truly her second year because she had 1 year off. So prior to that, she didn't play football. She played soccer before, but
mm.
American football, this is only her second year. So to see the development that she's been going through and stuff like that, it's awesome.
And I think a lot of people want to know why coach women. I mean, they are emotional. They get their periods. What's it like?
It's just like you just said, all those things, and the great thing about it is having those emotions bring the best out of the game.
Mm,
You know, these ladies, no different than men, all have a purpose. They got a mission. And so, dealing with the sassiness all the time, for some people it could be overbearing. But I think as a coach, uh, you know, I emphasize the importance of being coachable, and the way to do things so that coaching the team or coaching these women is not as hard as it could be.
mhm.
I think because one, I have a respect for the women and they show the respect back.
Right.
And that's the same thing with our coaches, right? So for me, it's just like any other family, right? There's gonna be good times, there's gonna be bad times, but at the end of the day, we can always come to the table and get back to an even playing field. So
Right.
it's awesome. Like I love it, to have so many different you know, characters
Mhm,
and emotions and personalities all in one, it brings the best out of the team because we're not here to make robots.
mhm,
People are allowed to be themselves, right? And I tell the ladies that I'm all about controlled chaos. Chaos gets us in trouble, but controlled chaos is what we
mm,
emphasize, right? Because it's all about a control, right? Because on the field, you need to be able to release that,
mhm,
you know get that energy out and go out there, right? So that's the control part, because if you just it's chaos right now, we out there cursing our own teammates out, we fighting, and that's not what we're about. That's not the culture that we
mhm.
promote within our organization. So um it's a blessing. I got a great group of ladies, a great group of coaches, great group of support staff, which consists of other family members and people from the community, and then we got a great fan base.
And I've seen you coach in the audience too.
Yeah, yeah. You have to, right? The audience is there for us, so I'm there for them too. We gotta make sure the energy is there all the way around 360.
And tell us a little bit more about your coaches.
So currently on my coaching staff, we have Trey Bennett. He's our defensive coordinator. So me and Trey go back a long time. Me and Trey went to college together. So I've known Trey for a long, long time.
Great football player. Shout out Trey.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Trey is playing semi-pro football as well, so
Mhm,
he's out there still running around and
mhm.
tackling people and catching interceptions and
Yes.
and all the good stuff. And then we got Cha Cha, Jessica. She is our special teams coach, and she used to be one of my players as well back in the day, right? And so you know, keeping those relationships going, it's great to have coaches that you can relate to and,
Mm.
that you have some background on and likewise. So she does her thing with the special teams and the girl, she's also the players coach. because she's a female, she can relate to the
Right.
ladies well. So when they got complaints and stuff like that they need to get out their chest, they could vent to her.
I don't see a lot of female coaches, even in women's football.
Yeah, well, nationally we have a lot of females within the WFA because
Okay.
that's what we play. We play it in the Women's Football Alliance. Shout out to Win and Lisa. Um, and there's actually a lot of female coaches. What I would say is I feel like there's not enough notoriety of what these ladies are here doing as far as women football goes. And but there's a nice handful,
Okay.
especially in the WFA.
I guess I just haven't seen any that you guys play
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this region here.
hmm And so, and then we have Coach Anger. Coach Anger,
Yes.
he is our firecracker. That guy, man. What I say, he's the one that when a touchdown happens, he's running down the sideline with everybody. He's the one screaming, the one look like he about to have a heart attack all the time. But no, his energy is great. The ladies love it. He bring the appearance and the attitude to the game that the ladies need.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Anger comes, everybody know it's 60 minutes. I want to say what he really says, but yeah, 60 minutes, right?
We're gonna have to bleep
Right,
it out.
right, bleep it out, right, bleep it out. We're just gonna say 60 minutes, right? So yeah, those are coaches that we have right now currently, and like I said, it's a great staff. They do what they need to do day in and day out to make sure that these ladies are ready. Ending this nights of watching film and breaking it down and doing what's needed so that we can be where we at. Right now we only lost one regular season game this year, which is the best season that we've had thus far. Being in the Mexico team,
Mm-hmm.
and so it shows the preparation and dedication that these coaches have amongst these players as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I know a little bit about the Bonitas. This is your second season, right?
Correct.
And before that, you were called the Regulators, or
Yeah, we're the Regulators initially. The first year that we started back up with another New Mexico team, because before us, it was La Muerte, and I was part of La Muerte on the original staff. And then I left there after a couple of years, and I didn't coach for a couple of years. And then when La Muerte discontinued, Derek Smith, who's the owner of the El Paso team, wanted to bring a team back to Las Cruces. So we all teamed up, and Cindy Pitts, which is our tight end, and she's one of our go-getters. She is top notch when it comes to keeping the team running and functioning. Got together and started the Regulators along with his business partner Robert, and so we started the Regulators that one year. And then after that year, we decided that we wanted to change it up a little bit, and that's when we started the Bonitas, and they focused more on El Paso side and kept stealth going.
Yeah, and for those of us at home that are not familiar with the Women's Football Alliance, tell us a little bit about that.
So the Women's Football Alliance, it's the largest organization of women football that's out right now. Right, and as far as us, we're in a specific region, right? So there's team almost in every state that you can think of. So it's large, there's I want to say 79 teams total. I might be wrong, right? Because they grow every year, but I believe it's 79, and that doesn't include, we get international players that get to come out and stuff like that as well. So, and then they're building relationships. So there's international teams coming and programs that's being developed right now. So it's pretty cool. They got the developmental, they got Division 3, they got Division 2, then they got Division 1 and the Pro League. So the Pro League, you get to see those ladies on ESPN2. Shout out to them.
Oh.
So you got the opportunity to grow in this league and build up to where you should be at in the pros. We're considered semi-pro. So the pro is going to be Division One, and the pro teams are at the higher level. We're semi-pro at Division Three.
Okay. So Division 3. And that, is there a Division 2 or
Yes.
1 in the Pacific region?
So it goes Division 3, 2, and then 1.
Right.
And so they Division 2, those teams are on a different region scale than we are. So
Okay.
we don't. So for example, El Paso is Division 2, and we play them because they are close to us.
Mhm.
Right. So that's the only Division 2 team we play, and that's because they are 25 minutes away from us. So it makes sense to play them because they're closer rather than us traveling half a day or another day to play somebody else.
That gets expensive.
Real fast.
Do they have a football team in Alaska?
You know what? I gotta check. I don't even know. I haven't even looked to see if there's a team in Alaska.
I mean, it's too cold. I would not want to play over there.
But you know what? Like, who would they play? Like, who are they close to? Right. So I'm gonna say there's probably not a team in Alaska.
Yeah, there's probably not a region for that.
Yeah.
Unless they play Canada. Is there Canadian?
Yeah. I don't think they're part of the WFA.
Yeah.
But I believe you can play out of league too. Massey rules, I don't know how that would count.
Yeah. And I think a lot of little girls don't really play football in middle school and high school like most men do. But I think there's just like at least one girl per high school or every, blue moon, you'll see one girl playing in high school. Did you ever see a girl playing high school football where you played?
So when I played, no, it was we didn't have any girls. But again, shout out to my high school because we do have a women's football team, flag football team, state champion. Shout out to them. Uh, they actually won a championship, so they do have now a women's flag football team. Uh, I also coached middle school last year, and we were the only team to have females. We have 4 female players on our team, and we went undefeated and won a championship with 2 linemen that were females. One was the one linebacker that was a female. Actually, 3 of our linemen were females, and 1 linebacker.
3 on one team?
On one team, and they started too.
This is the future.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow. I think this whole women's football thing is kind of a new modern thing going on. I mean, it's kind of like women are being empowered kind of by men to come play.
Right, and I don't want to say by men because it's actually led by women. So I think it is an empowerment of women, but it's collective, right? Giving the women the ability to do something that they want to do as well, right? For a long time, it has been seen as a sport that's just for men,
right?
But women have the same ability to get out there and do the thing as men do. As far as when it comes to suiting up and tackling people and catching the balls and running and stuff like that. And so it's great that women now have that opportunity, and you get to see them come out there and shine. It's beautiful. It's awesome.
I remember back in the 90s, there was no such thing as girls wrestling in high school.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember that as well.
But now they do. And now girls can compete with each other instead of having to wrestle the boys.
Right. And again, it's just one of those things where you have an evolution, where the opportunities are now trying to even out the playing field. And I think it's awesome. I think it's beautiful. I think we handicap ourselves as a community when we put limitations on what people can do based off of gender, race and everything else. I think everything should be open so that people can experience the uniqueness of everybody. When we isolate it and step into zones, we need to make ourselves uncomfortable. And that's what we're doing, right? In order to be comfortable, you need to be uncomfortable, right? And that's how you really see the uniqueness into people when you open up a mindset to do something outside of the box. And it's shown, in the world that great things can happen when we stop doing things just because we've always done things.
And what can you speak on as far as the diversity of your team?
Oh, my team is super diverse. Well, we got ladies from all likes of the world. Um, I mean, from different racial backgrounds, demographics, where they grew up at. Some people are from here, some people from Florida, some people are from Mexico, some people from every. We got somebody from everywhere. We got different professions, military. We got EMS. We got at home moms. Like, it's a wide variety of people on our team, and our team is very not just diverse. We're inclusive, right? Everybody gets to sit at the table and eat. And that's the great thing about it. We make everybody feel like they're welcome. And like I tell my ladies, no matter if you play one play or 60, we treat everybody with the same respect on our team.
Mm-hmm. And I think as far as size, being a football team, there's a spot for women of all sizes.
Definitely. Football does not have a size discrimination, right? We need everybody, from the biggest ones to the smaller ones. There's room for everybody, tallest ones to the shortest ones.
So what's next for the New Mexico Bonitas?
So right now we just completed the first round of the playoffs. So we did win. We played Rocky Mountain. So we are specific Division III champions, 2 years in a row, back to back.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So now we're getting ready to play Oklahoma Rage. It'll be our first time ever playing Oklahoma Rage. We'll play them in the American Conference Championship. The winner of that will go on to the national championship. So we're excited, to get some new blood out there and play somebody we haven't played yet, and go out there and do what we do.
On what day is this game?
Oh, it's July 13th at 4:30. We're gonna play at Cloudcroft at the Bear Stadium. It's gonna be 21 Lost Lodge Road in Colorado, in Cloudcroft. I say Colorado.
Cloudcroft, New Mexico. And speaking of New Mexico, what are the different things that you guys have going on? I noticed there was a news article written about you guys. And I think last year, too, I got a call from a guy from the news station that wanted to use some of my film. And you guys were on the news and stuff like that. Do you get any recognition from the city or the state of New Mexico?
We gradually been getting more. Shout out to Mike Cook. He just recently retired, but he's with the Las Cruces Bulletin, and he really, paved the way and, really got us out there. We also had NMSU journalist media team just recently add us to their sports feature. So it's been coming along. It's been coming along. For a long time, it's been quiet because people would be like, women's tackle football, what? They always think it's a lingerie league. No, no, they fully padded. They closed up. Okay, they got helmets on, everything. So, but it's gotten better. It's gotten better. But like I said earlier, it's nowhere close to where it should be. And so, we just keep plugging along and try to get our name out there more and more. Talking to more media and newscasts and podcasts and things of that nature. My guy Eddie as well. He does his podcast, sports podcast as well. So he's had us on a couple of times as well. So, we definitely are getting out there more. And also, the ladies been out there doing community service as well. Shout out to Pals Boxing. My ladies went out there this morning and helped them with breakfast and stuff like that. And, very instrumental in the community. And that's another avenue in reference to how we can get our name out there, just being involved with the community and showing people who we are and what we do and, giving our services as well.
And I'm sure it's quite expensive being a football team. Is there a way that you guys get sponsors, or how do you fundraise?
Every day we hustling. So, we do a lot of fundraisers. We do sponsorships as well. So we do like jersey sponsors, so they can sponsor a player, and in return they'll get a jersey and commercial ads. Shout out to Cool Paso. All right. And that's usually how we do it. We also partner with Raising Cane's, and we're there like maybe 2 or 3 times out the season. And they are big supporters of the women's football team, and they help us out drastically during the year. So, and as well as our biggest supporter, Norman Wright. They've been one of our biggest since we started. So, we have a couple of sponsors who we count on every year, who supports us and keep us running and keep us on our feet.
What type of things does a women's football team have to buy or provide for?
Well, everything, helmets, shoulder pads, uniforms. We got to pay for facilities, lights if we plan at night, medical stuff. We got to pay for travel, hotels, eating, travel, flights. Sometimes we got to drive. So, it adds up. You got to pay for referees, so everything adds up. Our videos, because we have to make sure we have videos for the game. So all those things,
So for an entire season, what's the cost?
We ain't even going to talk about it. Just if you want to sponsor, holler at your boy.
Yeah. So what kind of costs are you guys looking at if you win this next game?
The Ohio trip to Nationals? The flights right now, at this very moment, as we speak right now, are like $800 to $1,000 a person.
Ooh.
And it's a 25-hour drive. And so, and that's 3 weeks out. That's today's the 6th. So that's if we leaving on the 25th of July, the flight is almost $1,000. It's not depending on who you're flying with.
Wow, you got to sell a lot of chicken fingers.
I'm telling you. Man.
And you guys did it last year.
About to give away a kidney. Last year it wasn't this expensive right now. It was this expensive like a week out, but 3 weeks out it wasn't this bad. And that's one of the things that makes it hard, like especially for us, because El Paso Airport is a smaller hub. It's kind of difficult when you got to fly out to other places. So, but it's just another obstacle that we got to get over.
So you're expecting to win this next game with what was the team?
Oklahoma Rage.
Oklahoma. Oh yeah. What are you expecting?
Oh, I think it's gonna be a great game. Oklahoma, they got some big tall ladies. They're aggressive. They're physical. So I think it's gonna be a game. It's gonna look like a second round of the playoffs. But we are preparing our ladies the best we can. We're a physical team as well. We're fast, well coached. So we're expecting to go out there and execute and do what we do best.
Are you guys able to watch film on the other team?
Yeah, we've been watching film since Sunday after our last game. So.
Okay, because we filmed them. I mean, we film you guys, so I know they're probably watching you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, at this point of the season, you're getting the best of the best right now. So everybody's going to be studying, and everybody's going to be getting ready to go out and get their best performance.
What kind of celebrations happen when you guys win big games like these?
You know what? Last game was actually the first time we was actually really able to celebrate as a team locally. Mm-hmm. We haven't done that in a while because we usually play in Cloudcroft. Mm-hmm. This last game was actually our first time back in Cruces in almost 2 years.
The field looked good, didn't it?
Yeah. That was the first time we was there since they remodeled it. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I noticed. I think they made like the grass like neon green on one part, and then like just regular green. It's kind of like
they had some fun with it.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. But yeah, we're rooting for you guys, and we'll be there for sure. I definitely want to thank you for being a guest on our show, and this will conclude the podcast. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right.